Welcome to Unit 3.3 of MOOC 1, being Barriers to Water Reuse Adoption. By the end of this module, learners should be able to understand the difference between economic, regulatory, and social barriers to water reuse adoption. We also hope that learners will be able to deliver examples of economic, regulatory, and social barriers to water reuse adoption and analyze how they may overlap. And learners should be able to understand and explain the implications for water reuse adoption that these barriers may carry at different scales. In terms of barriers for water reuse adoption, we have economic, regulatory, and social barriers. Economic barriers include the financial and market-based hurdles that deter stakeholders from implementing and investing in water reuse systems. Regulatory barriers are when policy frameworks prevent improved water reuse practices from taking place, either due to contradictory guidelines put in place between alternate policy frameworks or because of weak ambition. Social barriers refer to the biases, motivation, or general lack of awareness that prevent uptake of water reuse within communities or governments. So starting with economic barriers, we have a few examples, starting off with initial investment. Even when long-term operating costs, otherwise known as OPEX, of improved water reuse infrastructure may cost less than traditional practices, the initial investment may cost more, thereby deterring actors from adopting or investing in new technologies. In terms of high OPEX itself, these higher operational expenditures may occur with novel technologies lacking subsidization, which then often results in reduced uptake of such solutions. Furthermore, limited market access or uncertainty surrounding the success of uptake of new technologies may entail lower initial investment and uptake by potential end users. In terms of regulatory barriers, some examples include inconsistent national standards. Fragmented regulations at the national level could overall prevent the widespread standardized adoption of water reuse practices across the EU. Risk management is another barrier. So where risk posed to existing human or environmental systems are high, water reuse practices may be prevented from becoming adopted. Also, in terms of concern for emerging contaminants, considerations for PFAS, microplastics, and pharmaceuticals may be absent from regulations, thereby leaving uncertainty in allowing for uptake to take place. Then some examples of social barriers. Public perception is one of them. So overall, false or skewed public perceptions about the risks posed to public health by way of water reuse adoption may hinder its growth and expansion of such practices. Also, the yuck factor is an instinctive sense of disgust or opposition to water reuse practices despite scientific evidence and justification supporting its implementation. And then a lack of trust is another common social barrier. So low levels of institutional transparency or a poor record of consistently acting in line with the public good can betray the trust and prevent communities supporting their implementation from supporting the implementation of water reuse mechanisms. So what is the significance of these barriers? Economic barriers can overall collectively hinder the advantageousness of adopting water reuse practices and technologies from a financial perspective. Regulatory barriers set policy guidelines that may leave knowledge gaps, cause inconsistency, or otherwise complicate the bureaucratic adoption of water reuse. And social barriers constitute biases and behaviors that decrease public acceptance of water reuse and diminish trust in institutions. Thank you for listening.